I have this weird black stuff on my hand. I don't know if you can see that. I have no idea what it is, and I'm more than a little concerned. For 2 years in a row now, I have gone to an event called YALLFest, which is a YA literature festival type thing that takes place in Charleston, South Carolina, usually around the first weekend of November. YALLFest is a 2-day event, a Friday and a Saturday, and it's got panels and signings and Q&As and games events with authors, but it also has probably the thing that most people go there for and what I go there for, which is ARC drops. ARCs, A-R-C, for those who don't know, are advanced reader copies, which are editions of books that typically go out to publishers and librarians and booksellers ahead of a book's release, so they can be reviewed and promoted. It's all publication business. YALLFest is a great place to go to get these ARCs because a ton of YA publishers like Penguin Teen, HMH Teen, Underlined, Fierce Reads, so many publishers show up and bring with them some of their most anticipated ARCs for the upcoming year, and you can basically pick up free books that are out before the rest of the world gets them. It's incredibly fun and incredibly neat. There's a bit of a controversy in the YALLFest sphere, I guess you could call it, about these ARC drops. A lot of people, like I said, myself included, pretty much only go to YALLFest for the ARC drops. The original intent of YALLFest was to connect authors to their readers and readers to authors, which is super cool and a noble effort for sure. Somehow over time, I've only gone 2 years, so I don't know a lot of the details, but over time it has become more and more about these ARC drops than it has about signings and things like that. This is what was being discussed a lot this year at YALLFest. I don't know if I very much agree with that. Even just the 2 years that I've gone, I know that there have been book signing lines that have gone on forever, and while I do know that a lot of the panels don't necessarily get as big of an audience draw as maybe people would like, I do think that connecting with authors is still very much at the heart of what a lot of YALLFest goers are there to do. I can only speak for myself. I don't like panels. I don't like going to them, and I don't like watching them like on YouTube, for example. Comic-Con panels, even for a show or a movie or a book that I love, I hate watching panels. I have really terrible secondhand embarrassment, so whenever any like awkward social thing happens, I physically can't handle it, so I hate panels. So for me personally, if YALLFest were just panels and just Q&As and just events with the authors, I would not go, because I can go to a couple. I usually go to one at the very beginning and one at the very end, but I can't have that be my weekend. It would just absolutely destroy me. So for the 2 years that I have gone to YALLFest, I have gone with friends of mine. They are just as nerdy and booky as I am, and we have a lot of fun collecting these ARCs. We plan our whole day. It's organized fun, which is so librarian of me. It's ridiculous. But we kind of compete with each other to see who can collect the most books, all in fun. I did win this year, so I can say it's all in fun because I won. So I have next to me the stack of 24 books that I walked away with at YALLFest this year. There's 24 free books, which is insane. I actually got 25, but one of them I got at the very end, and it was a copy of Caraval by Stephanie Garber, which I did not own previously, which is cool, but I have read before, so I put it back on my red bookshelf, which is the one right over here. So I am just going to sort of quickly go through the 24 new books to me that I collected this year, and I'm only going to talk about a couple of them because most of them I don't really know anything about. When you are collecting books at YALLFest, you only have so much exposure to them while you're there. Sometimes the publishers will give you info before the ARC drops to let you know what you can get, and sometimes it's a full-on surprise. In fact, one of the books I'm most excited about was a surprise to me, and I did not know until like minutes before I was getting it what I was getting, and it was a fantastic surprise. So yeah, I'm just gonna go through them. These books are going to be organized by release date, so I organized them from the earliest release to the latest release, except for one, which I will discuss at the end why that one's different. But all of them except that one are going to be released in 2020. So none of these books, except the one, are out yet. The first book coming out from my stack is the one I'm actually the most excited about. I'm very, very glad it's coming out first because I cannot wait to read it, and that is Chosen by Kirsten, I'm assuming, White. This is the sequel to Slayer. Slayer and Chosen are Buffy spin-off books, I guess you could call them. You don't have to have read the Buffy comics to necessarily get what's happening. Well, I haven't read Chosen yet, so I can only talk for Slayer. You don't necessarily have to have read the comics. I read Slayer before I read season 8 of Buffy, and I was only a little bit confused. Reading season 8 of Buffy helped me connect things afterwards, but I wasn't horribly confused. I would highly recommend watching the actual Buffy TV series, though it's probably not going to make really any sense if you haven't. But I am a huge Buffy fan, have been for many, many, many years now. So having this, I got Slayer at YALLFest 2018. So the fact that I am getting the sequel at the YALLFest 2019 and that I get to read it very, very soon, I'm very excited about it, so definitely expect probably a video about this to talk about it after I have read it. Also coming out in February, I have We Used to Be Friends by Amy Spalding and The Iron Will of Jeannie Lo by F.C. Yee. This one is, I believe, the second in a series, so I will likely be purchasing the first one to read it before I read this one. Maybe. I might skip this one and leave it to last. I'm not sure. I've also got a book I'm very excited about, Blood Countess by Lana Popovic, which is about Elizabeth Bathory. I love it. I love a good blood queen. So coming out in February, I have The Stars We Steal by Alexa Dawn, and Together We Caught Fire by Eva V. Gibson. You think I could remember these in the time it takes me to lift them up to the camera, but no, that immediately out of my brain. March is a super busy month, so I've got The Midnight Lie by, I can't read this in the viewfinder, why am I pretending that I can? Marie Rutkowski, The Midnight Lie, I said that one. Anna Kay by Jenny Lee. All these books are falling out of my lap. This one doesn't have a cover yet, but that's okay because this is one I am incredibly excited for. I actually just reread the last book I read of 2019 is the first book in this series, and that is the Bloodleaf series by Crystal Smith. This is Greythorn, the second book. Once again, I got the first book at YALLFest 2018, so now 2019 I'm getting the second one. This was the one that was a surprise for me. This is an HMH teen book. HMH teen, every year at YALLFest, always the best. Love them so much. Saints, all of them. But we got in line for we just knew it was a YA fantasy drop. We didn't know what it was. We found out after we got in line there was only 25 copies of it, so I was even more excited about it. And then right before they started releasing the books was when I found out that it was a sequel to Bloodleaf, which I absolutely adored. Fantastic book, so I'm super excited to read this. Next, I've got Blue Skies by Anne Bustard, Brown Girl Ghosted by Minty Das, We Were Promised Spotlights by Lindsay Sproul. We Are the Wildcats by Siobhan Vivian, and Look by Zan Romanoff. I have a smallish stack for April. I've got What I Like About You by Marissa Cantor. All my books just went spilling everywhere. Girl Save the World in this one by Ash Parsons. Unscripted by Nicole Kronzer. Deeplight by Frances Hardinge. I don't remember what the plot of this one was, but I know I was very excited to pick it up, so I'm going to be very excited to read it. And this one, Lobizona by Romina Garber. I think this one was April. It just says summer 2020, but I believe when I looked it up it was April. I don't really remember. But it's werewolves, so fantastic. Alright, and then for the rest of the year, I think the last one I have comes out in July, so this is May, June, and July. I've got The Summer of Impossibilities by Rachel Allen. The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna. This one I am so excited about. I got mine. This one is signed by this lovely woman. This one was one we kind of just stumbled-ish into her signing line. She's a debut author, doesn't even have a cover because it's brand new. And we were reading up on it in the line for the signing, and we were getting so excited. It's YA African fantasy. And then we got to meet up with the author. I actually get to meet up with her twice, one during her signing and then once at the very end of YALLFest. She's maybe the sweetest person ever. So cute. She was so excited. Her line went on forever, and I don't think she expected that. So it was just so nice to see this debut author get recognition. I can't wait to read this. I'm actually mad that it's so low on the list. I do want to read these in release order, so I'm mad that I have to wait so long to read this, but I'm excited. And finally, we've got Circus Rose by, who is this? Betsy Cornwell, and They Wish They Were Us by Jessica Goodman. The last book I have is The Deep by River Solomon with David Diggs, William Hudson, and Jonathan Snipes, who I believe are clipping. At least I know David Diggs, obviously. Hamilton, everyone knows David Diggs. This one, from what I could tell, has already been released. So I put it at the end of the stack just because it's already been out. So it's less urgent for me to read it, or not for me to read it, but like less urgent for me to talk about it. But it's a wee baby one, but I'm very excited because I love David Diggs. So those are the 24 unread books that I got at YALLFest 2019. It was really fun getting them, really fun to hang out with all of these really book nerdy people. I got to meet a bunch of new people. There was fantastic YALLFest drama. YALLFest drama is just, because it lasts only for one weekend and then nobody cares anymore, but it's really nice. It's fun drama. My plan is to do monthly wrap-ups for all the books I read every month, but if one of these really sticks out to me as one I want to talk about more in depth, I will definitely make a video about that. If there's any books that I have mentioned that you are particularly excited for or that you want more information about after I have read it, just let me know in the comments below, and I will try to keep that in mind and maybe even make a special video. Today is New Year's Eve that I'm recording this. It's not New Year's Eve when you're seeing this, but it's New Year's Eve when I'm recording this. I'm very excited to start into the stack. I am very excited for the new year and the new decade. I hope you are as well. And yeah, happy 2020, guys. Bye.